Welcome to CINEMATICON Ex Mortis, the horror movie discussion podcast hosted by Kenny and
Heather.
And today we are talking about The Love Witch from 2016. So, as we mentioned last time, this is a historic first for our podcast because I have never seen this movie prior to doing the episode, whereas Heather has. So I'm imagining, Heather, you might do more of the talking on this one.
I mean, it's possible.
Because, I don't know. I'm not sure I completely knew what to make of this, but I'll start with doing the basic facts, and then, Heather, you can do the plot summary. So this is an independent film that received only a limited theatrical release in 2016. It was directed by Anna Biller, written by Anna Biller, produced by Anna Biller, edited by Anna Biller. It stars Samantha Robinson, and it features a musical score by Anna Biller. This is one of those, I don't know. The one that's coming to my mind is like a famously bad movie, The Room. But there are these independent
You're going to
films,
compare this to The Room?
only in the sense that it has one person that was in charge of everything, there's these independent filmmakers who are just multi-talented, or in the case of Tommy Wiseau, multi-untalented, and who are just have their fingerprints on every aspect of the production. So it's really interesting when that happens. I know Anna Biller even designed the costumes herself. She built them herself out of fabrics that she wove herself out of silkworms that she grew herself. It's nuts.
I don't know about that.
I mean, that was all made.
Pretty sure
you
just made that up.
Yeah, that was all made up. But you get what I'm saying. There's she was involved at every stage of every aspect of the production.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I can kind of understand that because, if you want something done right, do it yourself, right? And I feel like that would be me if I made a movie. My name would be there a million times. Because, you want it to be done exactly the way you had it in your head. And the only way that's going to happen to the precision that you want is if you do it all yourself.
Yeah. I would definitely go the other way.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, if I were a filmmaker. I don't know.
You wouldn't do the musical score?
No, I wouldn't.
Oh, that's surprising to me.
I would find somebody who's a really good musician to do it.
But would you have concepts for that musician to take and then do it themselves?
Yeah, I think as a former musician myself, I would have a strong idea of what I would want it to sound like.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I saw an interesting interview with Quentin Tarantino where he was talking about before he had directed his first movie, he was just an aspiring director. He got the chance to be involved in this cool mentoring kind of thing where they would pair up aspiring directors with established directors, and I don't know if you shadowed them for a day or just talked to them or what happened, but he got paired up with Terry Gilliam, and he was saying to Terry Gilliam I don't know, I have all these ideas, but I don't know if I can actually do it. I don't know if I can make my ideas a reality. And Terry Gilliam was saying, well, that's okay, because that's not your job. And he was like, what? And he said, well, you're the director, so it's your job to have a vision and to communicate that to your actors and your set designer and everybody else, and then it's their job to make your vision real. So if they don't do that, that's on them. And that Tarantino said that lifted a weight off his shoulder, because he's like, well, I know I can do it then, because I know I have the vision and I know I can communicate it. So Um, so I guess that's a different idea of what a director is.
Sure.
But um, yeah, I mean, if you can do everything, then you can, I guess, get your vision onto the screen more precisely how it is supposed to be.
Yeah, that's just such a scary thing to do, like give up control. That's so scary. It's like your baby, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't, this is just a me thing, I guess. I just want to do everything myself.
Yeah. Well, do you want to do the plot summary yourself?
Yes, I do, and I will. Okay, so Elaine, a beguiling young witch, has moved to a fresh town to start a new life after her husband dies under very mysterious circumstances. In the Gothic Victorian apartment in which she now resides, Elaine spends her time performing rituals and concocting love potions, determined to find the perfect man. Unfortunately, her spells get a little out of hand, and the men she seduces all wind up dead. When she meets what she believes is the man of her dreams, she performs a ritual to bind them together in love forever. But once again, the magic doesn't work the way she intended and is driven mad in her obsession.
The guy was driven mad.
No, she was.
She's driven mad.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, him too.
Oh, that. Okay. So you think when she stabbed him at the end, spoiler alert,
Yeah.
um, that
Yeah, we
was
probably should have said that.
she's gone insane at that point.
Yeah.
Hmm.
She's like completely the way the magic drove the other men crazy, she ended up driving herself crazy too.
Hmm. Interesting. Okay, so before we dive into analyzing the plot, I guess my first question is, why did you want to discuss this film on the podcast?
Is this another way of saying why did you make me watch this?
Yeah, why? What?
Why did you do this to me? Is
Yeah,
that what
what
you're
was it?
asking me?
Not that I didn't like the movie, but I'm just interested as to like what about this sort of called to you. I mean, I know that you're kind of into occult stuff.
Uh-huh. That's putting it very lightly and you know it.
Yeah. So do you
Mhm.
did you like empathize with this character a lot because of that?
No, I'm not a psychopath. What I love about this movie more than anything is the aesthetics. Like, to be totally honest. The movie is very strange. I think I did warn you that it's really weird, right? I think I told you that.
Yeah.
It's a very strange movie.
You know,
But,
because you said that, I was kind of expecting something very different. And so in a way it was like even stranger because it wasn't like I was expecting some really bizarre shit to happen, but it's
well,
really kind of restrained in a lot of ways.
you've seen a lot more movies than I have, and therefore you've seen way stranger movies than I have.
Yeah.
So I guess for me, this is a really strange movie. For you, it might not be that strange. I guess I should have
Well, I guess
thought
what I'm
harder
trying to
on
say
that.
is like it was strange because it wasn't that strange. Like it wasn't. It, so the film we should start. I guess we should, for the listeners' sake. Like this whole movie is made to look like a movie from the 1960s. It's got the film
Mm-hmm.
grain. It's got like a Technicolor visual aesthetic. The hairdos and the cars and everything, it looks like it's like the 1960s or early 70s.
Some
And
of the cars,
right, you do see some
not all
cars
the
like in the
cars.
background that are modern
Yeah.
cars that makes you go like, what's happening?
Mm-hmm.
But overall, like the film is made to look like it's from the 60s, and not only like it's set in that time period, although like we said it's kind of not, but more so like it's a film that came out then. So like the acting style is not at all like modern acting. Like characters having a conversation one will suddenly like turn 90 degrees away from the other actor and just be looking out away as if they're an actor on the stage, where you often the actor will read their lines where they're having a conversation, but they'll turn away from the other person and be speaking it out to the audience. They're doing that kind of like very theatrical sort of stuff
Mm-hmm.
with the acting. Like it feels like an older movie.
Yeah.
So but and when modern movies do that, what often happens is it's a parody, right? Like we're supposed to be having fun and laughing
Mm-hmm.
at this.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's just kind of it's like they try to amp everything up. Like I'm thinking about like again Tarantino coming into our conversation. Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez did Grindhouse,
Mm-hmm.
which those were made to look like 1970s exploitation films, but um, those were like amped up to 11. Like it just goes nuts. Like the gore is like spraying all over the place. Like they're kind of latching onto the most extreme elements of cinema of that time and pushing it further. Whereas this,
Mm-hmm.
like, it really kind of just feels like um how a movie from that period might go. Like it's slow paced, it takes its time, and not a lot happens. It's very talky, which is what movies were like back then. Um, so I guess yeah, I was expecting for it to become more surreal or more gruesome or something, but yeah, it pretty much it feels like the director just really loved that period and that aesthetic and wanted to recreate that.
Yeah. I mean, the acting is absolutely terrible. Um,
Well, by
but
by
like on
design.
purpose. Yeah.
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 So it's like it's hard to judge really. Like it's I
Yeah,
think
no.
the
I'm not
Wikipedia
saying like
page calls
it's
it presentational acting.
okay.
I'm not an actor, so I don't know the terminology, but
Yeah, it's definitely like on purpose and
it's not like Samurai Cop or something like that where it's like it's hilarious how bad it is.
right. It's like I was thinking about it. I'm like, are they? I'm like, everyone is acting terribly in this movie. So, you know, are they? Do you have to be a really good actor to be able to act badly? Like, I got really in my head about it, right? I was like, how? Or do you? Or is it easy to act badly? Like, I just think it's interesting, like what that would look like, rehearsal wise.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm saying is I don't think it is necessarily bad acting. It's just they're acting in a different style, a different tradition from what you see in 99% of contemporary films.
I mean, I guess. I
So
guess.
I think there could be a difficulty to it because if you were just trying to act badly, act wooden, it would become like a parody.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think some of the performances were a little wooden.
Yeah. Like
Griff Meadows.
Griff.
Yes.
That's a good name for him.
I know, right? I started laughing even though I've seen this before. I'm like, Griff.
Yeah, Griff has like um a woodenish performance.
Exactly who I was thinking of, yes.
Yeah. But it fits with his character because he's
Yeah,
supposed to
his
be
name
like
is Griff. So
yeah,
yeah.
but his whole thing is like
Yeah.
he's stoic and unmovable.
Yeah, I guess.
So, did you consider this to be a horror film?
Yeah.
Okay. Why is that?
Well, there's a lot of murder going on. Not that that's like, absolutely a horror thing, but I really think of that opening sequence. I mean, the music really helps play into that horror aspect.
Hmm.
Um, it's kind of like a slow burn horror. but I do think it's horror. It's not like extreme horror, but I do categorize it as a horror film.
Yeah, so we're following this character Elaine through the film, and um she's kind of on a journey. I guess she's looking for love, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's in the title. And so I feel like this is a movie that's really upfront about what it's about, right? This is a movie about love and how it relates to gender, right? Because we get a lot of discussions of like witchcraft and how the witches have like a different notion of the the roles of men and women than society at large does.
Right.
um so I don't know, what was your take on that? Like, did you feel like the movie had a message regarding all that?
Well, I mean, they did talk about witches and like how, back in the times of like the witch trials and stuff, like the hatred of witches is really just like the patriarchy, like like being afraid of women's sexuality and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what the witches say.
Yeah,
the
but
wi-
then Elaine kind of her has like different views on it than they do.
yeah.
She's like a different type of feminist than they are. She's got her own thing going on that doesn't really line up with what they're saying.
Well, it's very complicated, I think, because like the witch guy who's like in charge of the coven and who gives that like essentially a lecture in the middle of the movie. There's like several minutes of him just lecturing
Yeah.
about gender and sexuality as we're intercutting with a strip show
Right.
at the burlesque. So it's almost like the film knows that this is boring, so it's like, hey, look at some titties. um,
I don't know if that's what they were trying to go for. Maybe on one level.
No, obviously there's a thematic connection as well,
Yeah.
which the speech is pointing that out, right? It's a speech where they talk about use your sexuality to gain power, like these dancers are
Right.
doing. But anyway, so the guy who's giving this whole speech is we learn that he is like a sexual abuser, right?
Yeah, I
He
fucking hate that guy.
molested what's her name, the Elaine, the main witch, and so that I think very much indicates that this is not like the director's voice, or you know what I mean, like this isn't what something we're supposed to be taking at face value. I guess my takeaway was just I don't know if the film like had an answer to the sort of problem of, because it's ultimately a problem of like power, right? um
Mm-hmm.
how does love relate to power and who should have the power? And it seemed like patriarchal society is kind of incoherent and crazy in the way that it thinks about women's sexuality, right? Because it's like women get punished for expressing their sexuality, and it's like, no, you're not supposed to, that makes you a slut and a whore and everything that um Trish shouts at Elaine at
Yes.
the end of the film. But on the other hand, it's telling you the opposite message at the same time, like be sexual. And there's obviously whole industries uh, that are built around constantly telling women to pay attention to their appearance and look sexy and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And women are, if you're a good looking woman, you probably know that like guys are constantly trying to get in your pants, and they get angry if you shut them down. And so you're sort of like faced with male violence and aggression no matter what you do. So
Mm-hmm.
that is like a shit show. But then I feel like the film kind of shows us that the witches' revision of that gender ideology is also incoherent, because it's like they're saying that as a woman, you need to like take control of your own sexuality and have the power in the relationship, and then you can make the guy do whatever you want him to do. But they also say, well, you need to let him feel like a man, and you need to give him what he wants. And it's like, those are opposites. Like, you know,
Yeah.
what are you supposed to be doing? And I don't know. I guess you're supposed to give him the illusion of control, but really maintain the control for yourself. But then it's still is reducing love to a relationship of manipulation and power that seems really hollow.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I didn't like the witch's whatever ideology very much, and it didn't seem to
Right.
work out for Elaine.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, she's got other things going on as well. I think you said you're not a psychopath. It
Mm-hmm.
she does seem to be like on that spectrum, right? Like she never shows any
There's,
remorse for anything she
yeah,
does. She doesn't
there's
seem to be
something
able to
wrong there.
empathize with other people. Like she goes out for like a lunch date with her friend whose husband just
Oh,
died,
God. Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
and she's just like, well, I just met this guy and he's like so cute, blah, blah, and she's like being so bubbly and everything, and it's like not the way a
Like,
functioning
read the
human.
room.
Exactly, yeah. She has no like sense of how this other person is feeling.
It's like narcissists have that problem, right? They don't understand what's appropriate and what's not. Like they'll just go on, not realizing that like this is completely inappropriate.
Yeah.
Like they just don't, they're out of touch with that because they have an empathy problem.
Hmm.
So, yeah, that's actually a pretty accurate depiction of like what a narcissist is like, you know?
Yeah. So
Um,
I think, I mean, there's different definitions of love, which I think the film is interested in. But obviously, one definition would be like a caring relationship between two people, a relationship of like deep emotional connection. And in that sense, I don't feel like Elaine is really capable of love.
no, I don't think so either. I think they sort of touched on like some past trauma that she has that probably affects the way she feels or not feels about things. Like, I think that her self esteem was so low that she just, like, kind of went ape shit in the other direction. Like, she just, they kind of touched on the fact that her husband was kind of abusive, but then again, can we always trust her memories and her inner dialogue?
Does
Because,
she even say that he like abused her?
well, you can hear him speaking in her mind, which I think we're supposed to think is a memory.
Oh yeah, I remember this. He's like, there was a hot dog behind the
Yeah.
couch. Like, how did that even
That
get
was
there?
okay. That was the one time I did laugh out loud in this movie. That was pretty funny. And he was just like, saying that she never brushes her hair. She doesn't take care of the house. She doesn't take care of herself.
Yeah.
And then there was like another voice telling her that she's fat and ugly and all this stuff, which I think might be her dad, maybe.
Yeah.
So she's definitely experienced some shit.
Yeah. Although the ex husband or ex boyfriend's whatever he is, his
He's an
complaints
ex-husband.
ex husband, his complaints seemed like pretty reasonable. Like
Well,
why
yeah.
is there a hot dog behind the couch? Like what are you doing? He's out there working and she's sitting at home. This is stinky ass hot dog sitting there.
Yeah, so I'm conflicted about it too, because on one hand, it's like, what is going on with you? You know, like, why aren't you putting anything into this relationship? But then again, he did. They both made mistakes. People are flawed. Whatever. Um, but the other voice was telling her that she was like fat and stupid. So, but then again, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I, you know, in her memory, she keeps saying, oh, she keeps telling people that her husband left her, and then it's revealed that he's actually dead, and she was even a suspect in the murder, and but she's telling everyone, like, how crazy is that? So, like, it is a little bit up in the air as to, like, what actually happened with that relationship
It
and what's
is?
going
No,
on.
she killed him.
Oh no, I know that. I know she killed him.
Okay.
But what was the nature of their relationship exactly?
Yeah.
We don't actually know for sure. So, we just know that there was a hot dog behind the bed and nobody knows why.
That much is certain.
Yes, that's about it.
I don't know. I think it's definitely a film that's kind of, it gives us a bunch of different perspectives to sort of chew on, because yeah, there's
Right.
that cult leader guy, and then there's Trish, who's like a more traditional feminist.
Right. Because Elaine had that whole thing like, oh, just give a man everything he wants. And Trish is like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
You know? And because she's like, oh, if I gave him sex every time he wanted it, like, you know. And Elaine's like, oh, that poor man. Like, I would leave that table if I were Trish. I'd be like, this bitch is nuts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I meant by saying Elaine is a different type of feminist, because like feminism is about being whatever you want and doing having the freedom to make whatever choice you want, being whatever type of woman you want. Elaine just wants to be the ultimate fantasy. She wants to be the perfect woman because she was made to feel like she was nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So her revenge on the world is to be the perfect woman, to be the ultimate fantasy.
Yeah, I think her what I'm not sure she really understands what she wants really, right? Cuz
No, she doesn't at all.
she's kind of incoherent, right? Cuz yeah, she does say stuff like she a lot of the things she says and does indicate that her like deepest desire is to be completely adored by somebody, right? I mean, this is why you give somebody a literal love potion. Um, she wants men to be obsessed with her and desire her. But then when she succeeds and that happens, then she instantly turns against them and she's like, "Ugh, you pussy, you know, you're so weak."
Exactly.
And
Like
so
all he does is cry all the time. He's just like a woman. She said that about two different men in the movie.
yeah. Yeah, so there's definitely like internalized misogyny there where
Yes.
she
Yes.
I guess I don't know. Maybe that's what the film's kind of about, is like the way that an attempt at feminism can be undermined by the sort of internalization of misogyny. Like she thinks she wants to be in control of the
But she
relationship.
but she really doesn't.
Yeah, like as soon as she is, that's totally unfulfilling.
Right. She's what we call a pick-me ass bitch. Do you know this term?
Um, the pygmies, they're
She's
like
a
the little
she
tiny people, right?
No, do you mean pygmy?
I was this is a joke.
You're so dumb. A pick-me ass bitch is like the girl that's like, ladies, why aren't you cooking for your man? Like, this is why no one wants you. Like, that's a pick-me-ass bitch. They're called that because it's basically like a cattle call for male attention, right? Like, look how good I am. Look at
Oh,
me. I'm the perfect woman. Like, you know what I mean? It's these women who, like, put other women down and in order to get male attention or to find a boyfriend or whatever, you know what I mean? Basically just get male attention. It's called a pick-me-ass bitch. Elaine is a pick-me-ass bitch. And she's also a N-log, which is a not like the other girls.
hmm.
Because she's like, I'm the ultimate fantasy. I give a man everything he wants. Like, I'm not like you basic wife. Like, I actually fulfill a man's needs. Like, those are two different things, but she's both of them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of interesting that I think you can see her insecurity just in the fact that she uses the love potion, right? Like on top of all the other stuff that she does. Like
Right.
she has a wig.
She's already super beautiful and
She
like
is,
gets
yeah.
male attention on her own, but it's not good enough. She has to have even more power.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You'd think if she
she's
had a love potion, she could be like a total hag, right? It wouldn't matter. She could just
right.
slip
She
something in the
doesn't
guy's drink and,
she is a love
fart and
potion.
belch all she wanted and
Yeah, yeah. It's a lot of this has to do with her insecurity. Pretty much all of this movie is just Elaine's insecurity. They make it seem like she used to be like ugly and fat, um, because they mentioned like her losing a lot of weight, and her husband said the thing about not never brushing her hair, so she
Mhm.
was like unkempt. So the thing about like if you used to be ugly, you feel ugly your whole life.
Yeah.
So she's just really, really, really insecure. Plus, her husband was going to marry another woman. So that's obviously going to set off her insecurities really bad, too.
Hmm. Yeah, I kind of have the opposite problem. I used to be really good looking and now I'm ugly. So
Me
I
too.
still feel really hot and it gets me into trouble.
Okay, Kenny. None of what you just said is true, and you know it.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess we've psychoanalyzed Elaine
Yeah.
enough.
I could do it some more, but
Yeah.
there's no point, really.
There's a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, speaking of the tea room, so there's like a very noticeable costume change as they go into that room from their meeting in the apartment. Um
Mm-hmm.
and I noticed like it seems like dressing up and cosplay seems to be like a big motif in the film. Of course, our main character, we see her sort of elaborate um, way that she preps her body, um, and kind of like Patrick Bateman in American Psycho or something. It reminded me. And then there's the part where Trish goes into
Mm-hmm.
uh, uh,
Elaine?
Elaine's like room when she's not there and like dresses up as her and puts on her makeup and stuff
Yep.
like a weirdo.
Yep.
And then there's like the other kinds of dress up, right? Like the tea house, everybody's dressed up in essentially period costumes. And
The
then
tea
there's
house.
what did I say?
Is it the tea house?
Tea house is what did you call it?
Right.
Tea room?
It's a tea room, but I just think
Tea
it's
place, whatever.
cute. Go on.
So, and then there's like the Renaissance fair thing, the mock wedding,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
where everybody's dressed up like they're in the Renaissance. So it seems like that's like something that's going on throughout the film. So, what did you think of that?
There's yeah, I mean there's a lot of different outfit. Like there's the whole like pagan rituals and there's those people are wearing all kinds of different outfits.
Yeah.
Um all these robes, there's one guy in a suit at that thing for some reason.
Uh huh.
Yeah, this time I paid a lot more close attention to like who was wearing what at what time. It's really interesting. There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot going on there. Um I think maybe it's because like people have many different aspects to who they are, like what makes them up, and so wearing different outfits is like, people are very multifaceted
Mm-hmm.
and we wear many hats. Maybe like wearing a mask, you think, the persona that people see isn't always who you really are,
Sure.
stuff like that.
Yeah, and maybe like there isn't a real you. Like you're just it's just identity is performative.
Sure.
Um. Yeah. I thought it was interesting to see the witches all um, dressed up in the Renaissance Fair section because
Yeah.
it it felt right to me because it's like, yeah, like this whole witchcraft thing, like there really are just larpers, you know, like these people are dorks.
Oh yeah,
They're
witches are big time nerds. That's real life. They're just nerds.
yeah,
Nerdy nerds.
which I guess is another part of why this didn't strike me as a horror film, because I feel like, I don't know, I've just been reading the 18th century book by Edmund Burke, the philosophical inquiry into the origin of our ideas of the sublime and beautiful, um, which is like a
Okay.
famous book on aesthetics. And one thing that Burke really harps on with the sublime is that, you know, in order to create that effect of sublimity, which is kind of like a controlled terror, um, you obscurity is a big part of it. You have to sort of hide things in darkness and shadow, if not literal, then in the sense that, you know, the audience isn't directly aware but has to kind of guess about something that they don't know exactly. And any kind of uncertainty and stuff like that is a big part of creating that effect. And I feel like that's super true when it comes to stuff like witchcraft, because um like take something like Rosemary's Baby, you know, like it's hidden away from us for so long, and then even at the end we don't see what the baby looks like. um if you do show the witches and everything in broad daylight, it's like, oh, they're just dorks, like they're just, it's silly, and it becomes funny. um
Okay.
so yeah, I don't know to what extent that's intentional or what's going on with that.
I don't know either, but I thought it was creepy.
Hmm.
I think it's mostly because that dude is so fucking creepy. So the like high priest of the coven, he's creepy as fuck. I hate that guy.
Yeah, that's an interesting like subplot that doesn't entirely get resolved, I guess.
Well, here's the thing. Here's what's sad is that that really happens in real life. I can't tell you how many times heard stories and spoken to witches that have been in covens where there was a male leader who would abuse his power that way
Yeah.
and require some kind of sex act as an initiation rite, or for like, you know, full moon rituals or whatever, like we all have to have sex. Like this is real. Like that really happens. You know, like all cult leaders.
Mm-hmm.
Not all cult leaders, but you know, in cults it's really 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 common, like insanely common for a male cult leader to abuse his power that way and sexually abuse his members. So
Yeah.
it that is a that's real. That's all taken from real stuff, which is awful.
Yeah. And I guess in like a more traditional story structure, there would be like another thing that happens with that, right? Like she would confront him
Or
and,
like kill him or something.
yeah, maybe kill him. He would be like the final victim, or
Yeah, it should have been resolved in some way. Like he shouldn't just be allowed to do that.
but maybe that is, like you were saying, it's more realistic that that just goes on and nobody does anything about it, and it
Yeah.
maybe screws people up, and they kind of act out in other ways in other relationships, but they don't bring it back to that person.
She was very like obviously disgusted by him. Like he would like touch her or whatever and she would either roll her eyes or actually tell him, "Do not touch me."
Yeah.
So, yeah, it should have been resolved in some way, but that's just wishful thinking in like a story sense. In real life, it doesn't get resolved. So, yeah.
Sure. So it sounds like you're not super like offended as a witch about like stuff like that. Like, did you feel like this film portrayed witchcraft in a way that met with your approval, or what?
Well, yeah, I think that it was depicted in a very realistic sense. You never see anyone like using telekinesis or like causing explosions or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like the only magic that happens is the love potion.
Yes. And while love potions aren't, in the practice, love potions, it's a big no no. You're not supposed to do anything that fucks with anyone's free will
Hmm.
because it's going to backfire on you, which is exactly what happened in the movie.
Which is another thing about Elaine that I think makes her kind of not very sympathetic is like she's not that bright, you know? Like she they tell her like don't mess around with love potions and she just doesn't listen and she just does the same thing twice and expects a different result.
Yeah, but isn't that pretty realistic?
Sure.
I mean, don't even get me started on the people that come to me and they're like, A, how do I do a love potion? Or B, can you make me a love potion? And it's like, no and no. Like, neither of those things are going to happen and it's not a good idea.
Yeah. So I guess that
Um,
that is realistic in that the other witches aren't into that.
and so they're just going to, a lot of these people are just going to go on Tumblr and look it up anyway and fuck with it anyway. And then they're going to come to me and they're going to be like, hey, I did this and now this has happened. What do I do? And it's like, oh my God, I told you not to fuck with that shit. And a lot of other people told you not to fuck with that shit. I'm sure you were met with 30,000 articles telling you not to fuck with that shit and you did it anyway. But that's how it goes. They do it anyway. So, in that sense, it's also realistic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes sense to me because isn't magic kind of always about power? I mean, it's just an attempt to gain more control over your circumstances than you actually have. So, I mean, one of the things people care about the most is love and relationships, right? So, that a love potion would be like one of the main things they would go for.
Yeah, but like you're supposed to come at it in a different way. You're if a love potion is supposed to be like, I'm just going to make myself more desirable and hopefully that'll help me meet the person that I'm supposed to meet. You know what I mean? Like you're supposed to come at it from a different angle, not be specific and like fuck with anyone's free will. But yes, it is all about control. And like, I read tarot professionally and people they just want to feel like their life isn't as chaotic as it is. They want to feel like they have some sort of control over the things that they can't see or they don't know what's going to happen. And that's really scary. Like, it's really anxiety inducing just not knowing what's going to happen or what's in store for you. Or So, yes, it is all about control at the end of the day.
You mentioned tarot, and that reminded me there's tarot cards at various points in the movie, and I don't know anything about that.
Yes.
So I was wondering, like, obviously there's a card that comes up repeatedly that's like a heart with three swords in it, and that obviously is presaging a romantic disaster that then happens. Um, but I was wondering, like, with some of the other cards, or even with that one, is there more going on there that you were picking up on that I was probably missing?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so that card is the Three of Swords, and it depicts like a heartbreak, like a painful, like relationship ending. There's the scene where Richard, who is Trisha's husband, is crying and drinking and reading tarot cards, and
Uh-huh.
he has the Nine of Swords, the Three of Swords, and the Devil. Now, what those cards represent are the Nine of Swords is anxiety, and the Three of Swords, like I just said, is like a painful heartbreak relationship end. And then the Devil is all about bondage. So what he's seeing is that like he's he basically is the Nine of Swords in that moment. He's crying and drinking and, reading tarot, trying to gain control over a situation. He's freaking out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's that card. The Three of Swords is showing him that he, his relationship with Elaine is over, and it's very painful. It shows the swords in the heart. That's how he feels. And then the devil, which is about bondage. You see the devil in the card, and then there's a man and a woman that are like wrapped in chains.
Uh-huh.
So he's like in bondage to Elaine, right?
Yeah.
She has power over him.
Yeah. So it's
So,
not being particularly helpful because it's like, yes, obviously that is the situation I'm in.
yes, which does happen a lot in tarot. It's like, oh, what's going to happen here? And it'll show you where you are right now. And it's like that that's not super helpful,
Yeah.
Yes, I know exactly how I feel right now. Thanks. Also, in the beginning of the movie, that's Griff that pulls her over.
Yeah.
She pulls out the Three of Swords.
Hmm.
So she predicted that relationship right there.
I didn't remember that she was like doing tarot in her car when she got pulled
Well,
over.
she wasn't. She reached for a cigarette and the card fell out.
Oh. Okay.
So
That's
yeah,
yeah.
the Three of Swords shows up a lot because there's a lot of like heartbreak happening in the movie because people are getting all fucked up in relationships with her.
Right.
But yeah, that's what that was about.
So speaking of the relationship with Griff, I guess we can talk about the end of the film where she stabs him, which has been foreshadowed by the paintings that she has of guys getting their hearts stabbed, and then that card with the heart getting stabbed throughout the film. So what do you think what is your interpretation of the ending?
Well, like I said, she was driven mad by her own ritual. That last ritual that she did where she was like bonding Griff to herself,
Mm-hmm.
the wording in that spell, right, was like, even if they want to leave, they can't. So that's why he's kind of sitting there like a zombie. He's not in love with her anymore. He is like disgusted with her, but
I was confused as to why they even went back to her place, because it seemed like he had broken out of the spell or whatever in the bar, right? When he's like, okay, I'm going to arrest you now. But then
he
she gets
can't.
attacked by everybody and he has to punch people. But then he gets her into his cop car and they drive off. And I was surprised that we then next see them at her place. So maybe she did some extra spell in the car.
I don't think so. I think it's still that like spell that bonded their souls together. Like even if he wants to escape, he can't. He's bonded to her soul. So he's going to like do things that he doesn't really understand why he's doing. He wants out, but he can't get out. He wants to arrest her, but he can't.
Okay.
So that's why he ended up back at her place. But she's also just like going batshit crazy about it because the spell backfired again, which is what happens when you fuck with free will. So she's just like hallucinating and seeing him as like a skeleton because she thinks that means I have to kill him. He wants to leave me, so I'm going to kill him so we can be together forever, type of thing.
Yeah, and then she like hears all the voices of her ex-boyfriends.
Yes. And she even hears Griff saying, "I love you. I want to marry you." Like she's just lost her mind. She's just lost it. I think the thing that happened after this is she probably spent the rest of her life in an insane asylum. I think she just spent the rest of forever hallucinating. That's what I think.
That's interesting. I guess I don't know, maybe because like we've been talking about the acting in the film. Her acting always feels very like her the way she plays the character, she's always very composed,
Mm-hmm.
um, and kind of cold and distant. Like you can kind of tell when she's being friendly or whatever, like that it's something she's putting forward for the other person. Um, and even in her like internal monologue, it doesn't feel genuine to me. Um,
Right.
so it was hard for me to like totally get a beat on like what was going on with her, but I didn't feel like she was that radically different at the end of the film from where she was at the beginning. I guess I felt like everything, she's somebody who kind of does this, right, where she tries to have romantic relationships, it doesn't work out and people end up dead, and
Mm-hmm.
then she drives off to someplace else. So I guess my imagination would, at the end, would be like she goes over to Santa Clara or someplace else and starts over.
That is also very possible. Very possible, yes. Both of those things are viable endings.
But yeah, I guess that is like a good structure for a tragedy, like a downward spiral of this character.
Mm-hmm.
We sort of see her rise and fall, see her find her footing in this new place after she's kind of done the same thing before, and then gradually like the pieces fall into place for everything to go sour. Um, to me though, I guess the reason I didn't love the movie, although I agree like the that it's very beautiful. It's like every frame could be like a painting, you know. It's just it's
Mm-hmm.
everything is so visually interesting and well composed. I I felt like, you know, with tragedy you're supposed to experience catharsis, and it didn't feel very cathartic to me because I didn't really like any of the characters really. Like I guess Trish is the most relatable one, but Elaine is not relatable, and neither is Griff. So at the end, because I mean he's kind of just a douchebag, um, and so you know at the end when she kills him, it's like okay.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, if I have like a critique of the film, I guess that's it.
You wish there was a character you could relate to more?
I guess there is like Trish. I kind of like Trish, although I mean, her dressing up as Elaine and everything, that was kind of like a little overboard. But
Her single white female moment?
yeah, like she seemed to kind of lose it there. But I mean, she's the one character where like her behavior makes sense for the most part,
Yeah.
and you know she's likable. Like she has this strained relationship with her husband, but she does love him.
Mm-hmm.
And
And I think he loved her too.
yeah, um, so I guess maybe that is the problem, is that Trish just kind of disappears from the story, like, and it becomes all about Elaine's relationship with Griff in the last, what, 15 minutes of the picture.
Something like that.
Like she has this confrontation where she's gonna stab Elaine, but then she just doesn't, and she goes to the police instead, which is also a good choice.
We don't
Um,
know what happens to Trish.
well, we see Elaine praying for her to crash,
Yeah.
but obviously she didn't because the Griff got the evidence from her,
True.
which I think, I don't know, that makes it tough to get so invested in the tragedy of it because it's her downfall, but we never really like her to begin with. I don't know. I guess I'm glad that we see eye to eye on that. I was kind of worried that like you liked this film because
Uh-oh.
you really like saw yourself in that character, and I was gonna try to talk you down.
Well, if I was that far gone, I don't think there's anything you could have done. I mean, there's certain aspects that I understand about her. Like, I understand, like, low self esteem making you act kind of nuts. I understand wanting to find, like, the perfect person. But then, she's just too extreme for me to see myself there. She doesn't have any empathy, and I have way too much empathy.
Yeah, I was gonna say
So, yeah.
you kind of have the opposite problem
Right.
where you get like just emotionally devastated if like a character dies in a show or something.
Right. So, there's certain aspects I understand, but not as a whole, not even close.
So I was thinking about, since we did a witchy movie that's kind of looking back to the films of the 60s, maybe next time we could do a witchy movie that's from the 60s.
Ooh, what are we doing? If you say
Uh,
Rosemary's Baby, you're dead. You're dead.
what about Rosemary's Baby?
No, that's Kenny. We're not doing Rosemary's Baby.
Okay, I just wanted to see if I would die. Um, no, I was
Get in a
thinking.
car crash.
Well, and here's another segue: is looking back at all of our movies that we've done. The one that has the most listens on SoundCloud is White Zombie. And I've thought a lot about why that might be, because it's not our first episode, it's our second one. So it's not just that it's the first one, so people start there. It's, I think the key is that it's the name of a heavy metal band. And so I think we need to do another classic horror movie that is the namesake of a heavy metal band. So I think we should do
Okay.
Witchfinder General from 1968.
Am I gonna like this movie?
I don't know. Do you like movies about the witch persecutions in early modern Europe?
I mean, I don't like witch persecution, but it's also an interesting topic.
Do you like Vincent Price?
I do like Vincent Price.
Well, you will see Vincent Price in what I think is probably his best horror performance.
Oh, okay, then I'm in.
And yeah, let's watch that. And
Okay.
one last thing before we go. I wanted to tell people you can follow us on Twitter. We're Cinematicon Pod. And I mentioned in a previous one that I was putting up like tweets where I was putting up like the 5 best horror movies from each year from the 2000s. And it occurred to me, I had like this epiphany that there's actually like a thing where you can make it into a little poll and people can click on the one that they think is the best.
Right.
So I'm going to do that, I think. Once
Okay.
this goes up, I'm going to start putting like once a day, I'll tweet out. I'll start with the 1990s and I'll put up my options for like the 5 best of the year. And we'll see if anybody clicks on those things and what they vote for.
Yeah, I think they will.
So I don't know, maybe we could use that as data for what movies to cover at some point.
Okay.
So yeah, look forward to that. If you're following us on Twitter, you can also look forward to the spicy memes that Heather likes to post. And yeah, I guess we'll see you all next time.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.